Hey, what's up everybody? Sparks here with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video, and the collaboration's not dead, and neither am I. So before we get into our skill analysis here of Rem, quick note on myself. Everybody was probably expecting to stream tonight, and you didn't get it, and I was totally radio silent. So, long story short, my phone broke or did something really weird. I'm gonna try and get it fixed, and yeah, so that's why a stream didn't happen, because I am a mobile gaming person, streamer. What am I trying to say here? It has been a long day, guys. So I game exclusively on my phone. That's what I'm trying to say here. So that's what I use for streaming. So I was not able to stream, and I also just got home a little bit ago, and so I didn't have any access to even like post on YouTube or anything like that because I didn't have my computer with me. Other knock-on effects with my life, because a lot of times I work remotely and I couldn't log into other things because I need to do two-factor authentication, and then my phone isn't working, and it's been a crazy time, guys. But anyway, we'll put that aside. It's good to be back. I'll try and get streams going up later this week, but I'll keep you updated. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, welcome any brand new players to Nikke after that crazy intro, but it's an exciting time. We're about to get our ReZero collab, and we get a lot of people's favorite waifu. I know there's a lot of Rem fans out there that like her even more than Amelia, but let's check and see if she's actually good here in the game. Spoiler alert, yes, she is. So let's go ahead and start reading her stats here. She is a support unit, burst 2, water code, and uses a machine gun. So you're going to get that high capacity, fast firing, 300 round gun. It's really good for hitting core hits, things like that, kind of like a mid-range effective weapon. And supporters are going to have relatively low base attack stats, so keep that in mind going forward. But she is water, so she's going to fit in well with our girl Amelia if we're building a team to fight against like fire raid bosses. So that's pretty cool. So let's take a look at her skill 1. It says leave it to Rem. Activates after landing 15 normal attacks in Demon's Breath status. Affects self. Now, Demon's Breath is something that comes from her burst, so we'll come back to that. But it will increase her attack by 4.22% and stacks up to 30 times and lasts for 10 seconds. That is a really big buff. Stacking 30 times is a pretty big deal, and she's going to be able to keep that up probably, you know, the entire time she's under Demon's Breath, because it's going to fire so rapidly. She's just going to keep hitting the stacks over and over and over and over and over again for that whole period. It also has a second part, which is activates when using the burst skill, affects all allies, shares HP recovery for 10 seconds. So any amount that she heals, she's going to share that HP recovery with the whole team. Now, keep in mind, that only activates during her burst, or just when you use a burst skill. It doesn't sound like she specifically has to use her burst skill, but when you burst. And the other status effect that's going to trigger the other part of her skill 1 is also from her burst. So basically her skill 1 does nothing unless you're bursting. So that is going to be a downside to that. Keep that in mind. Skill 2, Rem the Healer. Activates when entering battle. So that means just as soon as you start, no matter what kind of stage you're on, whether it's a boss or mobs or versus, whatever, as soon as the battle starts, she's going to activate this. And it says recovers 42.24% of attack damage as HP continuously. That is nuts. This is probably the best self-heal we have ever seen. So just like no matter what, she's just always healing. She has this like lifesteal vampire effect that just happens from the beginning of the battle. This is going to make her really, really durable. This is extremely good for keeping herself alive. Thing is, she's not healing anybody else. But let's see what the second part of her skill 2 says. Activates when entering the battle, affects self and 2 rocket launcher wielding allies with the highest attack, shares HP recovery continuously. So she is going to always be healing your 2 best rocket launchers on your squad as well. So not only healing herself, but healing probably your 2 highest attackers in general. And you know, because she has that effect on her skill 1, she can heal all the allies even if they don't have rocket launchers if you're in full burst. So she's looking very, very good for healing. For a long time on launch, Rapunzel was basically the undisputed best healer in the game. And then we got some other units with some sort of extra utility, like Blanc, that was a very good healer. And then we've gotten some other healers that are like close to their level, like Marshana is effective at healing. We've gotten a couple of other ones, but Rem is looking like she, in the right situation, might be like top 2, top 3 healer in the game. It's pretty crazy. But let's see what her burst does, okay? It has a 20-second cooldown, which is ideal for a burst 2. If you're new to the game, having a 20-second cooldown on your burst 2 is perfect because it means you only need to run one burst 2 and you don't have to wait for a cooldown, so you don't have to have a second burst 2 in your squad if it had like a 40-second cooldown. So that means you can run one burst 1, one burst 2, and then 3 burst 3s, which are typically going to be your highest damage output units. So really good news there. It just gives you more flexibility. So what it actually does is the first effect affects self and it triggers Demon's Breath. So that's what's going to activate that crazy attack stacking buff on her skill 1. But then it also increases her crit rate by 37% for 10 seconds. So crit is kind of not so great in Nikke. However, there are some crit builds. And the fact that that's a pretty big crit boost and machine guns fire so rapidly, you do get a lot of chances to crit here. So that is pretty good. Also, crits are just going to be more and more damage when you're getting that big attack buff that she's getting from her skill 1 that's activated from the Demon's Breath. So, there is definitely a lot of damage that is coming from this. And it has a second effect, which affects all allies with a rocket launcher, very similar to like her skill 2, except now it gets all the rocket launcher allies, not just the highest attack ones. And it increases attack by 50% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. Now remember what I said at the very beginning, support type units have relatively low base attack stats. And because it says attack, not final attack, it will not include any other buffs that she has or any attacks she's getting from gear and things like that. So this isn't actually that big of an attack buff, but attack is still good in Nikke no matter what. It's one of the best ways to increase your damage. And 50% is a pretty large chunk. She will also increase max ammunition capacity for all your rocket launcher allies by 5 rounds for 10 seconds. So 5 rounds is a lot compared to the normal rocket launcher magazine, which is usually a base of 6. And then, if you have some cubes or overload lines, giving you max ammo buffs, you might have like 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, things like that. But even then, 5 rounds is a lot of extra ammo to be giving your rocket launcher units, which is going to be good for any rocket launchers, but particularly for Amelia. Remember, she gets buffs based on how much max ammo she has. So we're getting a lot of synergy here. So Amelia is a rocket launcher. She gets buffed from max ammo. And hey, Rem buffs both of those things. That is perfect. And they're both water code, which is going to be perfect for fighting those fire raid bosses or any fire stages. There's a lot of really good synergy there. But I don't even think that Rem is limited just being used with Amelia. One of the, if not the best attackers in the game right now is Black Shadow Scarlet, and she is a rocket launcher. So it's debatable whether Rem will actually be the best burst 2 to pair with her. With the amount of utility she gives, she very well might be. However, the combo of using bunnies or schoolgirls is just extremely OP in almost any situation. But I could definitely see Rem being like, if not, the best, just below those like super OP combos that I just mentioned. And also when you're making, multiple teams for raids, then she's going to be an option to use with them. And then you can use the bunnies and the schoolgirls with someone else. Not to mention Rem just gives you just a ton of utility, like the healing. That is so much healing and so much attack. The ammo, I don't know, just like with rocket launcher units, it's kind of crazy. She's very, very, very good. Yeah, and beyond that, then one of my own personal favorite units, our previous collaboration unit, A2, is also a rocket launcher who is very, very strong, still relevant in the game in some situations. And she needs a good healer. And typically you have to pair A2 with either Rapunzel or Blanc. You can kind of get away with it in some other situations, but it's very difficult. Basically, it's either Rapunzel or Blanc. Well, Rem is now probably the best option to actually be using with A2, which is really cool to see another option being opened up for her as well. I know that doesn't help brand new players because you didn't get the near units, but keep that in mind. Also, funny enough, our first collaboration, which was with Chainsaw Man, also had Power, who was a rocket launcher. So theoretically, Power is getting buffed there as well. Let me know if there are any other really good rocket launchers that you can think of that I'm not mentioning here. One that actually comes to mind right now is Vesti, who is another water rocket launcher, which could definitely be a solid option to use with her, particularly if you're a newer player trying to, just put together squads. That's one to look out for. You could get a lot of synergy with Vesti. And Vesti is still a decent kind of mid-tier attacker and might be more worth using now again with the fact that we have Rem here. So yeah, honestly, I'm really liking Rem. I think she has a lot of really cool, interesting stuff for us veteran players and is also a great way to start building a solid team for brand new players that are also getting Amelia. So definitely really happy with Rem. I think she's probably created a lot more interest and hype for the collaboration for veteran players, not just the new fans that are coming in from ReZero. So all around, there's a big win here. The one kind of small, mark against her, I will say, is that she doesn't really do much if you're not playing with rocket launchers, right? You definitely need to pair her with rocket launchers for her to be relevant. I mean, that's just how it is. But I'm a big fan of things that aren't just universally good, and you kind of need to make a synergistic squad around them. Also, she will come with a free costume, just like Amelia does. So if you pull Rem, you will automatically get the secondary costume. It's another maid outfit, and it is modeled after another unit we have in the game called Soda, who is also a maid, although I will say Soda looks a lot better in this outfit than Rem does. Rem may have a bigger chest than Ram, but definitely not bigger than Soda. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next thing here, which is a third skin that she will get, and this is from the Mission Pass. So Mission Passes are very good value if you're a newer player. I would recommend buying it if you are someone who's planning to spend a little bit of money on the game. You can't go wrong with getting this Mission Pass. And the outfit's pretty cute for Rem here. It's kind of like a casual modern look. And the only thing that's kind of weird, I feel like this image is slightly stretched out. Does it look kind of like someone just pulled the aspect ratio a little bit incorrectly? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you're planning to pull for Rem. Make sure you subscribe for more Nikke and Nikke X ReZero videos coming out in the future. We'll, of course, be doing full testing, unit reviews, covering the event when it actually launches here in a couple days. I'm starting to get more and more excited about it. We'll talk about Ram when we get her skills announced, which is going to be a free unit for all of us. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some streams going if I can solve my technical difficulties, or maybe I can work something else out. So maybe I can do some streams later in the week. I would hate not to be able to when we're getting this collab, but regardless, we will be back up at some point. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that sub button. I'll catch you guys in the next video or stream.